Oh, it's recording. Look at that. New helmet. Shiny. Very pretty. Very nice. New GoPro. New setup. It's also been 8 years. Literally. Yeah, I'm excited to get back in to motovlogging. Finally, we're going to put on some music. Yeah, also, new bike. New bike. That's a sensitive topic. Yeah, okay. We still have short people problems where we go through this. Yeah, so anyways, after 8 years, I am finally back. It's definitely taken a while to get to this point. And there was some really significant issues that I had going on, which I will give a brief overview, but I don't want to spend the whole video talking about this, only because it's kind of depressing. So yeah, where was I? Where did I go? What happened to me, Cotton Eye Joe? Or Cotton Eye Jess? Yeah, essentially, back when I started motovlogging, I had started making a few videos and was using a wildly underpowered computer to try and do things on a budget. Now, again, this was 8 years ago, but at the same time, you look at videos from 8 years ago with intros, with how things were, and I was trying to teach myself how to do that while going to college full-time and while working. Essentially, what ended up happening was my husband and I had a bunch of people in our family pass away within a really, really, really short period of time. So I had just started motovlogging, and I never actually stopped motovlogging. I've ridden with a camera the entire 8 years, and I have some random ass footage that I've saved from when I was doing different things. But essentially, I stopped posting videos shortly into it. Now, when my husband's father passed away, being that he was the eldest son, even though his grandparents really should have taken over because he was early 20s when this happened. But they didn't, so it fell on my husband and I, and we ended up having to take the responsibility of settling not only the estate, but his father was a trucker, and he was in an accident and ended up sustaining some pretty serious injuries that ultimately led to his death as a result of that accident. So not only were we dealing with, just the grief, but we were also dealing with a lot of the responsibility. This included having one of his siblings come live with us because they were living with his father. Now, that took over 7 years to finally have the estate get settled. And that was a really big impact on us. We also ended up, because we were paying out of pocket for a lot of things, like his dad had a boat. So we were paying for 2 car loans and a boat loan. That was not ours, but the bank wouldn't do anything about it. We tried to exercise all of our avenues. Basically got told to fuck off. And it just left us with a situation where we were really struggling financially for a long time because of it. And I think the hardest part about it was that we also ended up having issues where we were kicked out of the place that we were living in. We had been living there for a very long time, which essentially made us homeless. So we dealt with that for a little bit. Luckily, my wonderful cousin came through. Her and her husband helped us insurmountably through it. So that was great. On top of all of this, my husband has significant spinal problems, and I have a disability that weighed into it all. So, and I think that, everyone has their own journey, and this one happens to be mine. But I did have a lot of stuff specifically, especially, my disability started before his father passed away, or at least I was diagnosed with it before his father passed away. So, I was dealing with that for a long time. And it's finally getting to a point where, I can settle down and actually start doing the things that I enjoy doing now. And one of that is actually starting to post videos again. Now, it's definitely going to be a little bit rough because I'm still learning, but you know what? I actually have a computer that will render things. Like my fun new intro, I did that myself. Granted, I did use a template, don't come for me. But, you know, I'm teaching myself some more video editing skills and how to have fun with some things. So, I'm pretty excited about that. I ended up having to sell my red bike, which was deeply tragic, and I am still recovering. I don't think I will ever recover from having to be in that situation and sell my motorcycle. We kept it through homelessness, but when I lost my job because of my disability, I ended up having to sell it. But essentially, what happened was I found a great collector because there is an awesome community up here of people who absolutely love 636s. And I found a collector, and he was missing a red one. I'm glad I went to someone who, you know, is so incredibly passionate. If I had to sell that bike, I could not find a better seller to take that bike. I mean, I still hate losing that bike because that bike was one with me. That bike was an extension of my body, and I don't know if I'll ever have another bike that quite felt like that. But I have a new bike, which I'm still getting used to riding, mostly because when I go to stop, it's much wider in the seat. So my already tippy toes issue of not being able to touch the ground has now gone to I can only tippy toe on one side of the bike, and I refuse to drop below a 600. I refuse. I will not give up my super sports. I honestly really wanted a leader bike, but they are ungodly expensive up here. Unless I want like a bike that's even older than this and one that I will probably fit way worse on. So I got another Kawasaki 636. This is a 2006 special edition. Obviously it does not have the flames on it. But, you know, it's, I think I like it better with the black and red theme. I had a thing going with the black and red theme. Been that way my whole life. In just about every aspect. So now I think it's pretty hilarious that I have a black bike. And you guys have not seen the new car. I will post a picture of it up here so that you guys can actually see it. But, yeah, so I went from having a black car and a red bike to having a red car and a black bike. It's a little bit wild how that works. I do actually want to wrap the Subi, but we haven't gotten around to that yet. And also we need to do some paint correction on it. So I might end up trying to get a video so that I can actually I might end up doing a video where I end up doing that. Yeah, and I got a new helmet. So there's going to be a video on helmets coming up because there was some pretty interesting information that I actually ended up finding out when I went to the local store. When I say local, I mean it was an hour away. But that's local around here because we live in the middle of nowhere. So when we talk about local, just bear in mind that it might not be what everyone considers local. But it is what I consider local. Because otherwise, I'd be like traveling out of state for work or some shit, honestly. The amount of time that I've spent traveling. Luckily now I talk about things settling out. We were fortunate enough that when the estate was settled, finally settled through everything, that we were able to use it as a down payment on a house. It needs a lot of work, but you know what? It's ours. And I think that that's the most important thing, is that it is ours. And we can just do what we want to it. It's going to take time. It's still a struggle, But I mean, I'm very fortunate to where I found a full-time job that works with me on my disability. Not just says that they're going to work with it, which is a very important distinction. But yeah, so things are getting good. I think we're pretty excited to be where we are. I mean, obviously, there's still a lot of things that are, nothing is perfect in life. So there's still a lot that's going on. But I think just having the ability, the time, the privilege of having the ability to live life, I guess, as normally as possible. I mean, I think a lot of people who struggle with I struggle with, a lot of the times they're silent for a long time like I was, and unfortunately it caused me to lose a lot of things that I did on a daily basis for a long time, and it took me a long time to get back, you know. But that's kind of, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to start posting videos. I've always enjoyed content creating, and my disability does kind of get in the way with that sometimes, so they may not be always as updated as, you know, I'm going to try and aim for like a video a week, but especially in the wintertime, that is going to be a lot harder because we can't do anything in the wintertime unless I'm absolutely freezing my ass off, because I don't have a heated garage and I live in New York. And as much as I have taken my bike out in 28-degree weather, the chronic pain makes the cold so much worse. See, I get talking and then I forget things, and like I forget how to shift or how bikes work. But I mean, yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is I'm going to do what I can. We're going to see what's going to happen. I am trying to do some Twitch streaming, so we may see some of that. And I also did start a second channel. However, there are no videos, and it is not anywhere right now. It just exists because I figured that I would keep one for like the traditional one that I have, which is all for like motorcycles, mostly motorcycles. I'm gonna start getting into doing cars and stuff too. I didn't really have anything back in the day, but since then I've had a couple of cars. I've got into some pretty basic tuning. Don't get me wrong and say like I'm like, you know, gearhead or whatever, but I do like some things that make my car fun and nice and that are not necessarily most of the time stupid. I'm just excited to be back. I'm really excited to be back. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media. It is still the same. Kept the same handle at Excessive Jess pretty much anywhere. I got Facebook. I got Twitch. I got, what else is there? Instagram. I got TikTok. Trying to post more to TikTok. That is a little bit harder. I'm awkward in the front of the camera. On the back of the camera, I feel like, I mean, I'm still awkward, but I don't get as embarrassed, self-conscious, whatever you want to call it. But I enjoy being behind the camera. I like talking a lot though, so motovlogging works perfectly for that. You know, channels got to expand. It's not like it was back in the old days, and I'm not doing any fun things like wheelies and shit because I can't. I ride my bike a lot, but I don't want to risk dropping it because I won't be able to pick it up. When I get another bike, I might try. I've thought about getting a little 250. I think that would be a lot of fun. Getting like a 250 or a 300 and just stunting the absolute shit out of it because I wouldn't care about it, but I care about this one. I don't want to drop it. I mean, the plastics are not that great. They're aftermarket and they're kind of shitty, but they're still fine, okay. And I did get a great price for this bike, to be honest with you. I got a really, really, really good price on this bike. I paid $2,500 for this, and I had to go pick it up, and it was sleeting. I got it as a birthday present for myself. I didn't even do any vlogs with my other bike that I had in between the two, which was an 88 Shadow 600, which, to be fair, it was okay, but I literally only rode it once, and that was to drive it to the guy's house because I am not a cruiser rider. But we'll stop this video here. I'll catch you guys next time. Be sure to hit me up. You guys have a fantastic day. Peace. Bye.